Wildness, naminery.
What
We
up, though?
live with it. We live with it
It's the Almighty.
on a nice Friday afternoon, evening.
Welcome in, gang.
I appreciate y'all for vibing. Yo, hold your oh, that's right. We good. Yeah, so we good, man. We not good. Let me hit the reversal. There you
Reverse,
go.
reverse,
There you go. There you
reverse,
go.
reverse.
I think I might fuck with that. There we go.
I like
Everything is right with the world. Let's go with you, bro. How we feeling this Friday evening,
I'm
man?
solid, man. Just watching the I said the Lakers. Watching the Celtics and the Cavs. Top seeded matchups, having at it. Catching SmackDown right now. It's an interesting show,
I think I'm gonna put that
for the
on.
most part.
I'm gonna
Got
put that
that
on
on
while
as
we
well.
pod.
It's crazy. It's a Friday, so it's like now I can watch SmackDown while we pod at this time.
Yeah. This is
Um,
usually like TNA hours.
Yeah, it's just TNA hours, so it's like shoot, we still going to finish this pod and have more than enough time to still watch the rest of SmackDown, which is
Yeah.
disheartening at times. Yo, this 3 hour SmackDown is rough, man.
Nah, 3 hours is bad.
It's tough, yo. But other than that, man, just solid. Just preparing for the uploads of all these YouTube shorts that I've got. For these album reviews, CL first listens, a lot of them. I've got 300 and change. Y'all see the Instagram and TikTok and threads and all that to post. So just dropping them all into YouTube so y'all can check the YouTube out and follow that up from there. You know what I'm saying? Finally doing solid on that end.
Yes,
And,
sir.
we got catalog cuts coming. We'll be talking to some of y'all favorite artists in regards to some of these albums that we've reviewed. I'm just
That's
gonna
the name
keep
of
it,
the
yeah,
catalog cuts.
catalog cuts,
That's fire.
catalog cuts with Chad Law. We're just gonna keep it
That's
strictly about
fire.
the album. We're not talking about trending topics. I just want to know why you
About the
sequence
music.
songs, why you pick this producer, why did you go with this as the outro as opposed to this in the middle. Like I just want to know
Right.
about the album. It's gonna be a quick strike
I dig
interview
it.
session. So be on the lookout for that coming in the second quarter. Just keeping busy, man. Just head down working. WrestleMania coming up. Will we be in Vegas? Will we not be in Vegas? Tune in more to find out. You're catching
Tell you
us.
what, I'm gonna be somewhere. If I don't go, which the way my life is set up right
You know
now,
what's
probably
crazy?
won't.
Flights don't look bad right now, and this is
Yeah.
this is clearly a yo. We didn't book our stuff yet, so y'all tuned in. That are like, yo, we already got the hotel and the air. It's like, yo, yeah,
Good
yeah.
to know.
Flights are still very much so fine right now because we're
Yeah.
not going to actual WrestleMania. We're going to the actual festivities
On to the South
within.
by of it all.
Yeah, we go into the actual events that are taking place. We're gonna check a couple of shows out, but as far as WrestleMania, we're gonna check it live from a good event. I'm sure Jobber Tears will have something. Somebody gonna have an event like we did last year in Philly, where we're just gonna kick back with a good amount of our peers and just watch Mania and not feel like we are being held hostage inside of the arena for 7 hours, chugging expensive beer. And
Yeah,
it's
like
gonna be hot
yeah.
as hell too.
15 for a pint is nuts.
15 for the pint times 6. You know what I'm saying? One night only. First night, not even night 2, but it's gonna be a doozy. Y'all sipping. Make sure y'all got them RSC cups. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all that we saw at Mania last year, y'all got these, man. Quit playing. Y'all got a lot of these cups. Pull up and enjoy the show with us. See the PMF hat. You know what I'm saying? You see the Godiva gang.
Yeah.
You see the gear we rocking right now, man.
Yeah.
All branded show today.
Also, speaking of Mania season, I got that Get Fly. If y'all going out to the Wale Manias and the fourth ropes of this world and the
Sir.
sort of cultures of this world, you know what I mean?
All white hat.
These are going on sale at Everything is Pro Wrestling. WrestleHats.com will be on sale March 16th.
March
316
16th
day
is the date.
Sunday. Yeah, Sunday 316 day. They will be on sale. I've been kind of quiet about them just because I've been, putting my ducks in a row, but I do have a couple of friends of ours in the podcast realm that have been gracious enough to offer me their platform to help promote. So
Nice.
shouts to BGW, shouts to BRP, shouts to Kings of the Rings pod. Couple of notes from Kings of the
Yes,
Rings pod.
sir.
For starters, this past week, they had their 400th episode on Tuesday, and I was blessed enough to be able to do the theme music for their
Tough.
their new,
Tough.
you know what I mean? So They have a new visual ID and also a new theme music, and I was able to do that. My man Ricky Rose, his birthday is actually today, so
Rose.
happy birthday to Rick. And he's in Toronto, not only celebrating his birthday, but he's in Toronto specifically because he's going to Elimination Chamber as well.
That's
So
tight.
he'll be at Elimination Chamber tomorrow, and then he will be on our show next Thursday on the Ringside Club. Next Thursday, he'll be
Yeah.
chopping it up to give us that, firsthand experience of being in the arena for what we're looking at to be a pretty eventful show. So shouts to Kings of the Rings Pod, Black Wrestling Pod, Black Guy Wrestling. Been talking to a couple other
Same,
people.
man.
Shouts to those wrestling girls. PR, I'm gonna get back to you for sure. And yeah, man. But
Good stuff.
316, 316, 316, that hat goes on sale. It's the Wrestle Hats collection by Part of My Fresh. That's gonna be available right there. But without further ado, you are tuned into the Ringside Club. Peace to the God Blame Boogie. We're gonna hit the theme. We're gonna get this show on the road. Yeah, I mean.
Peace to y'all, it's the Ringside Club Pod. A.O. Blame Boogie, Chad Law. The power's back, triple power bomb. The big dog trio in the stream yard. Go outside, hit the venue guard. It's all love when you see us, Lord. Back to the pad, on air for the pod. Ringside Club, intro to the squad. Let the show start.
Yes, sir. Peace,
Sir, yes,
peace,
sir.
peace, peace, peace. Salute to you and yours. Cheers on this beautiful Friday evening. The weather is breaking. The end of the week is upon us. Elimination Chamber is tomorrow, and you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're rocking with us, the Ringside Club. 2/3 of the mightiest of the mighty. Again, peace to the God Blame Boogie. But before we really dive into all of the details and McGee the details, you can go and follow us across all social media. That's of course is on X. We're on Threads. We're on TikTok. We're on
Yes, sir.
Instagram. Where everywhere there's a social media account, there is a Ringside Club account, so you can follow us there. You can definitely subscribe to the podcast, the visuals, YouTube, the audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other podcast platforms. And it's pretty much it. My name, of course, is A.O. Baker. I'm
Yo.
holding on by a thread, but we here, man. Chad Low with God.
It's the kid, man. CL 100. It's crazy how it's just a duo. And like, I remember times when it was really just like me, you, Ron. But man, I do miss that era, man. I miss the old school era when it was the whole clubhouse feel, man. That was a good time. That was a definite good time, man. A couple people been asking me, they're like, yo, can I just come on the pod with y'all one of these days? And I'm just like, well, we can.
Look, we definitely can, man. Like the cool thing about the Ringside Club from the very inception was this is a social club for wrestling fans.
Yes,
You know what I mean? We're definitely not. We ain't a lot of what you see out there. This is the chill spot. So as long as it's been choppy as far as scheduling is concerned, because I know I've been busy, you've been busy, a lot of things going on outside of the wrestling world. But y'all want chop it up with us, talk about some wrestling, hit us up, man. Doors open.
It's all good for sure. We ain't, it don't gotta feel like it's a every week thing. You know what I'm saying? Some people just want to come pop in. When we haven't done guests in a while, that's why I got
Been a minute, yeah.
that. They were
Matter
like,
of fact, Rick next week is gonna be the first one I want to say since damn near last summer.
Since Krista.
Since Krista. Exactly. Since Krista.
You know what I mean? Since
Yeah.
Krista. So we gonna
Congrats
get
back to those wrestling girls, by the way. They got that Revolt podcast deal.
Yeah, that's
what's
insane,
up,
man. Salute to them. We gonna take a sip to that one. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Salute to those wrestling girls, the homies holding it down, man. It's a lot of good energy going on out here. I've been trying to watch wrestling with a nice, more positive outlook as opposed to a critical one. You know what I'm saying? We turning the tides around for the pod, for the RSC.
It's a kindler, gentler. It's the PG era.
Yeah, it's the PG era of the RSC. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be on here lamb blasting and cursing things out because we're just going to kill them with kindness, man, and just talk about some of the things that we really do enjoy because there's a lot of good quality out. And another thing, I don't want to fantasy book anymore, man. I think I'm tired of talking about fantasy booking. And just thinking about what we're going to predict tonight with the Elimination Chamber card, I think I just exhausted myself. Like, that's where the point came from. Like, I'm exhausted fantasy booking. Like, I just want to just take it for what it is. Pause. Like, I just.
To me, I think there's a fine line. I think it's cool to be like, oh, I can see this going here or here, and then kind of clipping it there.
Yes.
But I think like there's a lot of times where you fantasy book things and be like, "Bah-da-da-da," and then when it doesn't go there, then it automatically either doesn't make sense or it's stupid or you're mad at it. And it's like, man,
Yes.
like we was talking a little bit off air, but a lot of like my philosophy coming from a creative background, creative is what puts food in my fridge. I understand that like we're making decisions and sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days, and all of the above are things that are very, very subjective. So depending on whose eyes and ears are on it, they might think it's dope versus maybe somebody else doesn't. You know what I mean? So when I apply that thought process to wrestling, it's like I have my taste, there's things that I like, but I can't get too down on somebody that likes something that I don't.
Agree.
Like enjoy it, bro. Like what are we talking about?
I agree. Like, there's a lot of times right now where I'm looking at both companies, major companies, and I'm just like, the fantasy booking will come in when you're watching something, but then it's just getting to a point now where it's like, when you factor in all the content that's going on around these shows, you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy the product as is
Hello.
and leave it alone. Like,
Hello. I like to
whatever they
turn the TV
deliver,
on and turn it off, bro.
that's it. That is it. You know what I mean? But so, before we get to the predictions,
Yeah.
let's go see what we can pull up in the notes for the news. We missed a couple days. Really nothing too crazy going on
I
besides
saw today,
NXT
yeah,
collaboration.
NXT. Yeah. I saw and it was probably like because they had the live show last week and we saw Elijah pop up, but I saw today that TNA like announced they put it at least out on social that Elijah's officially signed with TNA.
I think that's going to be a good thing. They really could use some more credible guys in the main event scene to go along with Santana and Mustafa Ali. And it's only going to be a matter of time before he turns on Hendry. You know what I mean? I'm not going to fantasy book that, but I just think
I
what
think you're spot
other,
on though.
like, what other, when you look at him, it's just like, what other route can they go? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is it,
I think it's spot on, and he plays a very dislikable character when he wants to be dislikable. You know, like him being able to talk the level of trash that he talks with the music infused in it. Like he's a natural. You know,
I
he's a
agree.
natural. So that's going to
They,
be entertaining. And like
him, the
to his
concerts.
point, the other side of that coin, Joe Hendry, like he's one of those career faces in my opinion. Like he's like one of the least dislikable people on TV. So
Yes.
that's a good combo.
He needs a good, credible heel to go against him right now. And
Yeah.
I think Eli, instead of
That
Eli,
he
is
can beat.
Elijah?
Elijah, yeah. A good credible heel that he can beat, so it adds some legs to his reign.
Yes, there we go. That's a good one. That's a very good one. Jordan Gray's officially out.
Yep.
Cora Jade is pretty much going to be one of the big dogs in NXT knockout, the TNA knockout division. Uh,
Especially getting that look from the chamber and
yes,
then bringing that back to Tuesday.
yes. So, Obafemi and Moose crossing paths is going to be pretty dope. Nice to see that for a change.
Horse fight.
I didn't know there was so much discourse with Moose. I think I'm just so out the loop.
Yeah, Moose is in the same bag as Swerve in a lot of circles.
That
Yeah,
side,
yeah.
that side of the fence.
Moose is in the same bag as Swerve in a lot of circles. So
Unfortunately, I've got to separate the artist from the art.
we're talking about 8 to 10 right now.
You know what I mean? Like Moose, the wrestler in the ring. Yo, bro, I love Moose, man. I'm a Moose fan. I've been a Moose guy for years, so I know a lot of that stuff that happens outside of the ring. That's what they gonna say, but some of our favorites they've done some dirt too, man. A lot of them have done some things that may not have made the news, but some of them have. You know what I mean? And we still praise them to this day. So that's just where I stand when it comes to Moose and, you know what I'm saying, Obafemi crossing paths. Just because I saw a lot of people, well, I was excited, but I saw a lot of discourse online was Moose is here. Ugh, where's Santana? I was like,
Look, I mean, look. Not that I'm getting
man,
into it,
like,
but it's put it this way, it's deserved, and I'll leave it at that. You know what
yeah,
I mean, I ain't here for that, but it's
you know,
deserved. But on the 8 to 10 realm, it'll be a dope match.
yes, I agree. Like on an actual quality match, it'll be good. Fraxium and the Hardys, they're collaborating. They're gonna be doing dirt. I should say doing a match. You know what I'm saying? Coming up, so that should be a good turnout. Them having their match in Madison Square Garden. Is it Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, it is the Garden. Yeah, it is the Garden.
Ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
So ridiculous. You might have to pull up for that one, actually. Well, I know you don't really care for NXT too much, but I'm
Ooh,
an NXT guy.
I try, man.
A
This
Tuesday
week was
night
good.
there, I could rock with that.
This week was a really good week, I thought.
NXT has got a lot of promise. I'm rocking with NXT. Wednesdays, Revolution is coming up. The card right
next
now.
weekend, matter of fact.
Wait, what?
Revolution, I think, is next weekend.
Revolution
Is next Sunday.
Wow, you're right. March 9th.
You got back-to-back prediction shows, matter of fact.
You are absolutely right about that. I just completely forgot. Honestly, the show just snuck up because we've been worried about Grand Slam for so long that it's like, oh yeah, we got this is here too. Some of the matches early that we'll say, we're not gonna do predictions, but Big Boom AJ, you with Big Boom AJ coming back into the fold?
I don't know how to answer that. I thought he had what was his match on the pre-show against? Was that QT Marshall, right?
Yes.
That was one of those like second to last matches on like Superstars, right? So if Superstars comes on at 11, remember like 11 a.m. Saturday morning Superstars, that was definitely like the 11:35 slot.
That's funny.
That was one of those matches.
Gave it the women's time match. Is funny.
It was cool. Yeah, it's the AEW Dynamite women's slot.
That's funny. I don't know who's gonna say
it was cool, man. I can't say that it wasn't entertaining. So
I enjoyed it. I think
I enjoyed it.
The purists will hate it, but the general crowd loves it.
Yeah, whatever. I ain't a purist. I never ran the ropes.
Yeah.
I see TBA. So what's the direction? Like, who has he been at least rumored to be in that match with?
So I think it's going to be a surprise, or it'll probably be QT Marshall again, or Aaron Solo.
Maybe he throws Jim Cornette off the roof.
Cornette will never be in AEW. That's never going to happen.
Throws that man down the stairs.
Ospreay and Fletcher is going to be fun.
Yes.
Steel
cage match.
That's
very few cage matches in AEW history, which is another reason it adds to my excitement level, because when they do cage matches, they really they're so spare that I know they're gonna who's gonna ever forget the Cody, for example, moonsault off the top of the cage.
I was there in Atlanta, man. I watched that live when he moonsaulted off the top of the cage. Was it Wardlow or Jeff Cobb? One of them.
I want to say Wardlow for some reason.
But he backflipped off that cage in Atlanta, and the State Farm Arena lost.
It went nuts.
And this was AEW in the State Farm Arena early, first year type vibes.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a banger. MJF and Hangman, I'm looking forward to it, but I don't know. It's just too much talking. I'm ready for the action. Pause.
I like it. I like the feud. What's exciting to me about that feud in particular is like Hangman and MJF are definitely two of the guys that AEW is always built around. So this is interesting positioning for who comes out of this with whatever kind of momentum. It's almost similar to what they're doing with Swerve and Ricochet for different reasons. Swerve and Ricochet is very explicitly the next guy up for a world title shot because it's number one contender. But what's cool about Hangman and MJF is they're not that far behind. If there's a number one contender, I feel like whoever comes out of that is number two in the rankings, if there were rankings. You know what I mean? But like they're right there as far as they're right there in that in that conversation. Sidebar, there's a commercial for Evolve on right now on SmackDown, and I saw today that Peter Rosenberg is running play-by-play.
Yes, he is.
Commentator. So that's pretty dope. Hot 97 wins again.
Shoot. I like the fact that AEW keeps the main stars from the beginning away from each other. That's one thing they do amazing, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like keeping the homegrown talent away from each other. So when it finally happens in moments like MJF and Hangman like this is cool to see. Sometimes MJF's verbiage is kind of losing me. And I kind of just, like I'm an MJF guy. I know you kind of being different on MJF, but like lately it's just like, it's just too much going on here.
Here's what I think the direction with MJF that would make sense is now we should be at the less is more on the mic with MJF.
Yeah.
Like what they did this past week, I thought worked a lot better for me personally than what they did the week prior because it was that much shorter. Like he got out there, he still said a lot, but it wasn't 20 minutes. You know what I
Because
mean?
I look at AEW like Mad TV, and from a positive note, that whole segment to me was just mad goofy.
I mean, he definitely caught your man's out there gigging.
Mad
So
goofy. MJF with the no blood on his hands just looked like he got a manicure wiping a red towel with Kool-Aid
with the
on it.
towel,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
man. And then Chris Daniels, I was all I could say when I watched it, I was like, Mad TV AEW, man. What you gonna do?
This is
You know
where
how
you
this
get
goes.
into the suspension of disbelief because I know
Yeah.
what my eyes just showed me, and I know what I'm supposed to come out of this thinking, and I'm gonna just go in that direction because I know what I saw, bro.
It's
But
like this happens every week, man.
it is, but
It's like
I'll
you ain't
take
come
it,
to
dog.
expect this comedy.
Fam, I will take it.
Yeah, so
I'll
there's
take it.
that. You know what the difference is though, with MJF and Hangman to me is there's no real heel as opposed to Ricochet and Swerve. Like for a fact Ricochet is the heel and Swerve is the babyface, and then Hangman and MJF, people like me and quite other people still say he's our scumbag, even though Hangman is the babyface and MJF is supposed to be the heel. People still rock with MJF very much so. Glaring difference with him and Ricochet.
I think, first of all, like Ricochet is doing best work that I've seen him do.
It almost makes you like, I was watching his promo on Wednesday and I'm just like, man, this was the same guy that was like flying around pretending to be a super. He was essentially hologram for like his whole WWE
He
run.
really
Like
was.
that was crazy.
He really was, though. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
wow, what a change of character, bro.
This is why sometimes, man, like being given creative direction and then the freedom to figure it out is so much better than being super scripted. And then also, there's also like the people
There's
that are
Malachi
making.
Black. Yeah, there's the Malachi Black side of things.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's the
yeah,
Miro
yeah.
side of things where it's like,
But I mean, then there's also like, for one reason or another, or no reason at all, he just didn't catch the imagination of the people in charge. And nobody was going to bat for him and be like, nah, I see more for Ricochet than what you see for him. And he just got, it's like it's being typecast, right? Think about some of your favorite actors that's really just played the same role for however many years, and they really do have talent, but they're never going to be given. Jason Alexander, they used to play George Costanza on Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one character that the 99% of Earth knows him for. Typecast.
You know what's crazy? The WWE landscape is so stacked right now that Ricochet really would not be a blip in the radar on Raw or SmackDown right now.
If he wasn't rather given
This
the direction,
run, yeah, like if he was still the same Ricochet that we've known in WWE since
he'd be on speed. He'd be on speed, bro. He'd be on speed, main event, network, and that's about it. You know what I'm saying?
On main event is funny.
Dog, look at how talented
he's networking. He ain't wrestling. He's just networking.
Dragon Lee, right? Look at how talented Dragon Lee is, and how right. And really, he's just a guy that comes out to take a bump here and there. Dragon Lee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's not going to help much when the rest of the Lucha Bros show up.
Carmelo Hayes just be out here spinning wheels.
It's Miz Mello about to catch the match on SmackDown.
Bro, the man said Mello don't Miz, and then said it again.
Yes, that's what we're doing. And y'all called me crazy when I said
it again.
Mello and Andrade be tag team.
Look, the Andrade. I'm gonna be fair. I'll be fair with this. Andrade and Mello made 0 sense. At least in this case, the character that Miz brings to the table and the character that Mello brings to the table are compatible enough that there should be friction, because two people that cocky shouldn't get along. Like, Andrade does have the cockiness, but there's a language barrier a lot of times, so it doesn't come across the way I think they want it to. Miz has been on TV for 15 years being the cockiest, being Rick the Model Martel. You know what I mean?
It's just like when you look at Miz and Mello, you just think we've already got Grayson Waller and Austin Theory kind of just doing the same young, brash kind of dickheadish tag.
And they put him in a tag, and it worked. You know what I think it is? Andrade is arrogant also, but I think Mello and Miz can play off each other, so it makes for a good act. I'm not sure in what I've seen that Andrade can play off of Mello or
Andrade
play off of the Miz
Mello
the same way. Like that buddy comedy thing is what they're really going for.
to combat that. Yes, the buddy comedy to combat that. Andrade and Mello, I felt like would have been young playboys. And instead, with Andrade's language barrier, Mello would have been the one to talk. They would have been smooth at the same height, same type of build. They would have been a tag team that looked credible and probably been fluid and been champions by now, having more reaction than Motor City Machine Guns probably do. And I've been championing that since the beginning of their 7-match series. So the fact that I saw Mello and Miz now, I'm just like, oh, come on, yo.
I think it works better, man. I think it works better. I think for the reasonings that you brought, but I think it works better. But I still like, damn, Mello.
Yes, that was tough. That was a tough watch.
Damn, my boy.
That was tough. But yeah, the rest of we said Swerve and Ricochet. That's going to be one of the match of the nights. I think. Yeah. I don't know how they top their. Well, I think they will top. They'll top the other.
Yeah, they'll go.
It's just no stip. That's all. That's kind of where I'm.
No, it's the number.
Well, you're right. The number one contendership. So.
Yeah, number one contendership.
All right.
Like I think, like, look, man, like we can. If I'm putting bread on it, I'm obviously pick Swerve. Like I feel like everybody would, but the fact that this has stakes and the fact that there's also the Prince Nana element, him wanting to get his jacket back.
He's getting serious about it. I don't see them splitting up either. I think
I don't see them splitting up, but there's always that what if in the air.
Yes.
Like what if for whatever reason Prince Nana sees something in Ricochet that he doesn't see in Swerve anymore. Look at how long he's been talking about Swerve. You're not focused on what you should be focused on.
It's not a bad one. That'd be a swerve of all swerves.
Dog.
That's a swerve right there.
That's a swerve.
That's a swerve for the night that'll have everyone talking on the internet. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, like I thought it was odd that, Ricochet exits stage left and Nana still has something to say. It's like,
Yes, that's gonna be a doozy. Good match of the night. Mercedes and Momo Watanabe, I think, will probably be the sleeper of the night. I'm not gonna say it's like I know Mercedes gonna have a banger, but
Momo Watanabe, I don't know much. Like
you in the wrestling community.
I know Momo from Wrestle Dynasty. Like that's where she won this contendership. This goes back to Wrestle Dynasty. This goes back to that tournament where it was the interpromotional. You got CML, CMLL, New Japan, Stardom rather, AEW, all the women's tournament for Wrestle Dynasty, and the winner of that tournament was going to get their shot at. I don't remember if it was a champion that they choose or if it was specifically Mercedes, but that's where this goes back to. This goes back to January 5th. So I remember that. But as far as being like super familiar with Momo, I'm really not. So, but that being said, a lot of people, I'll put it this way, a lot of people whose opinions I would value say that Momo's dope. So Momo's dope. And I know that Mercedes is dope. So this will be dope. I look at Lyric, shouts to Lyric at Lyric Wrestling. Lyric is a big Momo fan, and I definitely trust Lyric's taste. So there you go.
Not going to disagree that, her being in this position, it makes sense from a storyline perspective. I'm just pro the AEW women's roster, where I'm just like, there's way more we could have done here than Momo Watanabe filler match. You could have did this on Dynamite or Collision. Like, where's Willow getting her rematch? Like, Megan Bain is killing. Thunder Rosa should be here. There's a couple women who I think should be here before Momo Watanabe, even for a filler pay-per-view match. That's just me.
Sure. If you look, the way I look at it is this: I've been pretty consistent with saying that I think that Willow is going to be the one to beat Mercedes. And what we saw this past week was that killer instinct that Willow hasn't had, at least storyline wise. You know what I mean? She hit with the concerto.
You would think losing your belts at a prime spotlight would spark a.
Sure, but think about Hugger Bailey. She won titles and lost titles and was out here hugging kids the next week. It wasn't until whatever, she didn't turn heel till she turned heel. She didn't have a killer instinct till she turned heel. So like Willow's kind of that same, lovable character, and maybe the Marina Shafir match is next up once she's off the shelf from the concerto.
That's going to be a good feud.
Yeah, but to further that killer instinct, but this all could be prep to finally get Willow ready mentally in kayfabe to finally do whatever she needs to do to win that title from Mercedes. You know,
That's gonna be solid. Like,
that's what I. That's again, the writer in me looks at it like that. Is like, yeah, I see. Like if y'all are thinking that far ahead, where you notice she's the person that's going to take that title from Mercedes, getting her killer instinct through this feud is interesting.
I'm actually fine with Mercedes holding the belt for like another year.
I'm not cool with year-long reigns or year-plus long reigns. Like they're
Given the
unnecessary.
person, though, the person matters, and Mercedes can get away with that.
I
I
think
think.
Mercedes can. I think the problem, what makes the feuds not interesting to me, is when you can tell that they're on cruise control. There's no drama within the feud.
Here's Momo Watanabe.
There's no drama within the feud. Like you don't believe Momo has a chance to beat Mercedes,
No.
and that's
So that's why I don't have a problem with her being here, but just from a guy who enjoys the current roster instead of having to go outside of AEW, you know what I mean? I'm just like, yo, we could have just put,
yeah,
somebody else could have here.
but I also look at like how there's no title reign that's good if you don't believe the championship is in danger.
So you feel like Mercedes is just going to be cruise control?
Until
We're not fantasy booking, but you just think like every pay-per-view for the next, let's give it 6 months. You think it's just going to be banger matches with the same result on some Roman Reigns ish?
1000% until she's in
I'm
a
with it though.
feud.
I'm with it though.
Yeah, until
I'm
put it
fine.
this way. Put it this way. What's Shorty's name? She just had the match in Australia.
Harley Cameron.
Harley
Oh
Cameron.
yeah.
I thought Harley Cameron had a better shot at beating Mercedes than Momo did.
Anyone? Well, maybe Statlander.
No,
Statlander, I'd say.
but specifically Momo, because like I was like, look, there's a lot of momentum that Harley has. It could have been that, oh, we didn't see this coming, but we should capitalize on it like they did with Joe Hendry. There's the hometown vibe, like we're in her, and Tony is kind of has been pretty favorable
Yes.
to hometown wrestlers. So it wasn't a 99.1% with me. I was like, man, I could see this. I could see her winning on a fluke, on a roll up or whatever. I could see her beating Mercedes and maybe even Mercedes getting it back the literal next Dynamite. You had that title for 4 days, 3 days, 2 days. But I don't see, but that made an interest. So for Mercedes title reign to be interesting from this point moving forward, it has to be somebody who you can like make sense out of winning that title from her.
I just don't see her. Let me phrase this. I'm trying to put the words. Her title reign right now, I just can't see anybody dethroning her. I'm trying to put it like I have so many thoughts about it, just because it's like I have been enjoying the match aspect, like from the positive side of things. Like I said,
Love the matches. Love the matches.
Matches are
100%.
fine. I'm not gonna even talk about her character work.
Right.
The promos, you know what I mean? She do what she does, man. She's here. She just says the city's name, and then here we go. Back to the thought. Now we got it. All the belts. The dominoes have to fall. And that's when I will believe that the TBS title will be lost once the other belts get lost. Until then, I don't believe nothing. Yeah. Because why would you lose the TBS title first and then have the rest of these like interchangeable belts? You know what I'm saying?
I agree. But then like the flip side to that is like, because AEW is the biggest company. What does she have? She has Stardom,
Rev Pro.
and Rev Pro. Yeah, there's 2 belts to Rev Pro, right? So it's really 3 titles, 4 belts. 3 promotions rather. If she loses like the Rev Pro title first, then you can forecast the fall off. Versus if she loses the AEW title first, that's going to come out of nowhere.
Forbidden Door. I think that's where the cracks start. I think we got it there. We ain't got to go too much into a deep dive, but I think Forbidden Door is where we start to see the cracks in her title reign, when she has to go up against whoever they're going to choose to represent to take the title back from her.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, what if
the Rev Pro title, that is.
But what if, like, if I say that Willow's beating her, what if Willow's the first one to beat her for only that TBS championship? You're not going to see that coming.
But then it's like she's just carrying other companies' belts then?
That's my point, though. Like, again, if she loses that New Japan title and the Stardom, the Rev Pro, pardon me, you're gonna be like, oh, the next big feud that she has, she's definitely losing.
And then she doesn't lose it. That'll have me though.
So all right, so that's the
That'll
swerve
have
though.
me.
That's
That'll have
that's
me.
the swerve.
That will have me if she loses the belts and then she still keeps the
Retains
TBS title.
TBS.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
I'll
right.
be like, all right, this is still fun.
Yeah,
Give me another 6 months of this. Like now
yeah.
you don't got the distraction of the other belts. Now we're gonna have some unpredictability of this title right now.
Right.
Mariah May and Tony Storm. Mind you guys, we're not doing predictions for the card. We're just shooting the AEW ish right
Shooting
now.
the breeze.
You know what I'm saying? Tony Storm, Mariah May.
It's the blow off. Yeah, I think it's the rubber. It's the
pack
blow
this,
off for sure.
Pack this feud up. I don't think there's really as much to be said about that we won't really deep dive on for the predictions episode next week. But I don't know. Pack it up. Just ready to get this. Let's get Tony into some new feuds, man, and let's get Mariah into something that people would want to care about Mariah May for outside of Tony Storm. Because once you take Tony Storm out, I think it's crickets for Mariah May right
now. 100%, especially without the title.
Yeah.
Like,
so let's go in the direction of Mariah May having
out there with Deonna Purrazzo. Moving right along.
Wow, man. It's crazy.
Keshta and Omega.
Yo, family said she was on a 5-match winning streak on Dynamite. And I said, where? I said, where?
Going back to 2022.
Where was she on a 5?
She won 3 matches in 2022, 1 in 2023. Yo, she ain't been on in 2024.
Lost. Yo, bro, I lost it when he said that, bro. I was like, when was Deonna Purrazzo having 4 other matches on his show?
Nah, I know she's been on Collision.
Her entire
I don't remember her.
I think they're gonna bring in Giselle Shaw. I think they're supposed to be bringing her in next.
Supposedly.
That's the member they're trying to add, but that's crazy that Deonna is where she's at right now because she actually gave Harley her second best match since the Mercedes Moné match. So it's crazy to me that Deonna
roster's too big, bro. Roster's way too big, and I think Deonna getting lost in the shuffle is still crazy considering how big that roster is. If it was just the women's division, but when you factor in that the men's division is like 2-3 times the size of the women's division, and you have 4 hours of TV, there's too many people there. So like Deonna getting lost in the shuffle is crazy.
That tag match, the number 1 contender match, was so weak that like I almost would have turned that into a squash, and then added another women's match just to give it like an extra oomph. Like I was watching that live, like I could have really used another women's match here, like the tag title number 1 contender match to me was the burial of Brian Cage and Lance Archer yet again. But we, what you gonna do here with that?
That's a weird one. I thought that was like as predictable as the sun coming.
Yo, fam, I think like that swerve in itself, I think had us all like,
yeah, really? I was like, wait, what are we doing now?
Really, we really let the Murder Hawks lose to a roll-up after having most of their moves get no-sold? All right.
Distraction off the entrance music. All right.
I would have been fine with the domination of the Outrunners and then the Hurt Business music hit and then the roll-up and then that was the end of the match. And then you could have given us another match, another quick women's match in between that. But I just think that number 1 contenders match to end that way, that was one of the clunkier moments of Dynamite, you know what I'm saying, that I did watch.
It's just an odd decision. Like, I wouldn't have done it. So
yeah,
I'm like, all right.
I was actually looking forward to...
I feel like that's going to be a triple threat.
Okay. Multi-man match vibes.
Yeah.
Give them something to do. They don't have a match on the card yet, so I'm going to assume that that's going to be the last edition that we get.
I think so, because there's a lot there.
There's 8 matches. You mean we're only going to have 8 on the AEW pay-per-view? Come on, man. We got to have at least 10.
Yeah.
So, Konosuke Takeshita and Kenny Omega for the international title, probably match of the night.
Banger, 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 banger.
Absolutely could be match of the night. Takeshita and Pockets put on a Dynamite Classic.
Jeez Louise, that whole sequence into the Blue Thunder Bomb.
Yeah, you can't really hate on that match. You know, I'm gonna listen to what some of my funny peers say about these matches, but I personally had no quarrels. I thought that was one of the best matches Pockets does this though on main events. You know what I'm saying? It's what Orange Cassidy does, and
both of them.
Takeshita, he's no slouch, man.
Orange Cassidy, one thing he does not do is miss. Creative direction sometimes might be I'm not so sure, but bell to bell and character work, he knows exactly who he is, what he's doing. And Takeshita the same.
He's the Sami Zayn of AEW. Like he
Good
can look good,
call.
get the crowd behind him, and take a
Good
loss,
call.
and take a wild loss, and be like, we didn't think he was gonna win anyways.
Good
That's my
call.
guy though. Like,
And you
that's,
going
you know
and
what
you
I mean?
going to root for him the next time, you know?
Yes.
Good
So
call.
Takeshita and Kenny Omega is going to be dope. I think Kenny winning is going to be a great call. Sucks that Takeshita's reign has to kind of fizzle out like this, but as we talk about, short reigns are just going to have to be, let's get used to them again. Not every title reign has to be 7 months. And I guess technically it's been 6 months at this point with Takeshita, though. So
Cool,
I guess, yeah, it's been a quiet 6 months with that title reign, though. So
he's been active, but yeah.
it was a quiet 6 month title reign. I'll give him that. You know what I'm saying? At least he can put his name right there. And then Mox and Cope, main event, singles match. There will be blood.
It will be a new champ too.
There's 3 ways that match is gonna go. Mox retaining with the F-ish. You know what I'm saying? That's a high probability.
Mm-hmm.
2, I'm gonna go with Moxley losing to Cope, and then Christian cashing in, and then that's how we go from there. And Christian is the champ. I'm part of the Christian Cage cult. I'm a part of the patriarchy. So if he was to win the world title and end us of this Death Rider misery, I've been calling this since the beginning. So I'm with it. And 3, Moxley still retains, but it's because Jay White kicks Cope in the dick. It just completely starts their next.
That coming. Jay White heel turn. Okay.
Jay White heel turn to start Cope's next feud and gives Mox an out to retain when we all think that Cope's gonna win. It's calling for that 3rd one.
That's interesting.
It's calling.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I was going with 2. I felt like Christian's walking out.
Just because nobody talking about it, and that's why I had to bring it to the RSC directly.
That's interesting.
I think Jay White kicks Cope in the dick and completely turns on him.
That's very interesting. I just look at it like so many people have been like, "Oh, it's Darby," and that is so far out.
We are so lost on that Darby. I actually miss Darby Allin sometimes when I watch Dynamite. I'm like, the show's good, but I wouldn't mind this guy being here for a change.
The one thing I think AEW does, or one of the things rather that I think AEW does really well, is they can keep their big names fresh because they have so many people on the roster that when somebody like a Darby Allin goes away for a little bit,
MJF,
you miss him, you notice him, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot going on still, to where the show doesn't necessarily lack because one person isn't there.
Yes, like he's not needed right now, and I think if Mox retains, we still won't see anything going. What I think really is going to be the case is I think the Jay White turn happens, man. Like, I don't want to see it. I'm with the Cope win, but I just think that the way everything's been looking, I just think Jay White's going to be best served heel, man. He's going to be best served heel. He needs something to do with Cope. He needs to get payback for Cope stealing his whole spotlight this entire time. He got a title shot before Jay White did. And this is me shooting off the hip. Like, I don't hear nobody talking about these points. And the number 1 contenders match. That's going to be a dead giveaway. Swerve and Mox versus Swerve and Cope.
Swerve versus Mox or Swerve versus Cope.
Or we could do Ricochet. Or Ricochet. But realistically, like,
it's really, I would go, like, even though Ricochet is Ricochet, I'm going with Swerve out of that. So it's Swerve versus Christian, Swerve versus Mox, or Swerve versus Cope.
Now, before you go on, Swerve and Christian call back to last year, Double or Nothing. Tide's turn. So
for this Double, that's the next pay-per-view is Double or Nothing.
Yes, Double or Nothing. So that to me makes me intrigued about the main event scene for a change again. Like, if it just means we can see the belt again, I don't care who has it.
Yeah, let's see the title.
I don't care.
How about let's see the title?
Put the belt up, yo. Like, I don't care who wins. Just put the belt back in the air again, man. Like, that's all I want. I'm tired of this Roman Reigns off TV vibes with the AEW title. So, yeah, man, I think it's the Jay White heel turn. We have a Cope Jay White blood feud throughout the summer, and they cancel each other out. And Mox and Swerve, that's the next one. Like Mox and Swerve is bound to cross paths, and I think that's going to be a bloody match. That's going to be an awesome match.
The Mox versus Swerve.
That's a double or
See,
nothing.
here's the thing, though. No, it 1000% is, and that's one of those matchups where it's very 50-50 to me. Like, obviously, we're not there yet, but Swerve versus Mox. Swerve versus Mox feels like 51-49. I'd probably go Mox because then you're like, oh, I know who Mox is next.
It feel like a tank fight. It feel like a Tyson Fury fight. It feel like a prime time. Like, yo, honestly, like this. We know he's always the favorite, but
this could go. This could
Usyk knock Tyson Fury out,
right? Because because we know how Swerve is positioned in that company.
Yes.
Former champion. They're not all of a sudden talking about what's the last #1 contendership match you heard?
Geez, when they said that, I was like, I thought MJF and Hangman would have been the next #1 contenders.
You feel me? Like, they didn't say that for no reason. So that's what makes that most intriguing for me. So
yes,
the main event scene right now is cool.
It's finally picking up, man. We was going through a rough period last fall, man. But
yeah, we were, because Mox won the belt, and everybody was like, "Oh, Darby's beating him," and I was like, "No, he's not. Orange Cassidy's gonna beat him." No, he's not. Neither one of them dudes are the dude.
Yo, Jay White. Yeah, that's
nah, bro.
That's not happening.
I ain't see it at all. I was very heavy on the Kenny Omega comes back and beats Mox. I don't see that anymore, but we got motion right now. So
yeah, Swerve back in the title picture is definitely it's best for business. Truthfully, I'd love a Samoa Joe, John Moxley, if you were right about now. That would be if Joe and the Ops started to come into the form with this, with the trios and the world title, like faction warfare vibes. Like
I was about to say, like the trios kind of it all.
I want to see.
Yeah, the trios of it all. Funniest joke about the Ops is like, your man Hook got to earn his towel.
Yo, bro, I told you that was gonna be that's got to be a storyline in itself. Having to earn his excursion to get them towels.
God, yo, you can't come outside with a towel, bro.
You know what I find really like comical about the trios division before we move on to Elimination Chamber? Cope trying to kill off the entire Death Riders, but it's like, yo, fam, what about the trios belts? It's like, what about FTR? Like, wow, what happened to Rated FTR, which had like a coffee cup of a run, and like y'all just gonna put the trios division to the side, even though it's actually
I will say
potential right now.
So I will say, like, if Cope has an opportunity to win the world title versus trios, logically I could see him going for the world. But what I thought was crazy from Dynamite was, I don't know if it was this week or last week, but FTR and Copeland were in back-to-back segments, and one of them was getting jumped, and the other one was literally just on TV and didn't come back out. I think it was FTR was just out.
Yes, because they were teaming with Daniel Garcia.
With Garcia,
Undisputed Kingdom. Yeah. They're feuding with now.
They went to the back, and it was like 14 seconds, and here's Cope, and now he's dealing with the BCC or Death Riders rather.
We got Cope, and it's gonna be a good collision too. Actually, coming up, same time tomorrow. Well, no, right around, but it's gonna be a good collision. Daniel Garcia versus Adam Cole for the TNT title. That's gonna be a fight.
Yeah, I want to see that. That's again, like, I wouldn't be surprised if 11 p.m. on a Saturday we're talking about your man's Adam Cole's new TNT
title. I'm not mad at that, because I'm not mad at that actually. Like, no deep dive. I'm perfectly fine with giving some excitement. You know what I'm saying? Y'all going up against a major juggernaut pay-per-view. Give the crowd something to pop.
Not only I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it, but I also could see that as a catalyst for a little attitude adjustment for your man Danny Garcia.
That'd be nice.
Even as the champion, it feels like he's been spinning his wheels a little bit, so that could freshen him up. I thought we were gonna get that, like, when they were supposed to be doing a handshake and him.
Yo, he resigned, man. He's got the TNT title, bro. He's it. This is a big push.
There's too many people on the roster.
I'm not mad at the position that Garcia is in. I just
ain't no focus on him right now.
Yeah.
Well, there is now, but there wasn't when he won that title. That was the plan, and then nobody was talking about anything after that. You're gonna win the title, and then what?
Brought him back with Daddy Magic and Cool Matt Menard, and I was like, yep, that's Daniel Garcia's title run. So we'll leave that as it is.
That's next week. That's AEW Revolution. That will be live on Sunday in LA. However, what's happening tomorrow Saturday in Toronto, is the Elimination Chamber. WWE is still on the road to WrestleMania, and what's happening out of this show, we'll know who the other two world champion main event contenders are going to be.
Yes.
Who's challenging for Cody Rhodes championship, and who will be facing Rhea Ripley at Mania for their two respective titles. Plus, on this very lengthy 4-match card, we have Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in an unsanctioned match, and we have Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. I figure we could probably start with that match and get that out of the way. Tiffany Stratton and Trish versus Nia Jax and Candice, tag team match. Nothing really on the line. Tiffany Stratton is the champ.
It's tough, Brody. I think hometown victory, though. I think Trish gets a good victory.
Yeah.
Needed. Trish kick to Candy LaRue, and I think that's it. Nia doesn't take the pin, and we elongate Nia and Tiffany for another SmackDown 3-hour extravaganza.
I'm rolling.
So I'm cool with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just hope that Tiffany gets the hot tag and not Trish.
Nah, you already know Trish getting the hot tag. Matter of fact,
more honestly,
it's actually going to be both. I think it's a match of two halves. I think
that was a good question, by the way. Who gets the hot tag?
Yeah, but I think like the first hot tag will probably be to Stratton, maybe, and then the real heat other way around, and then the real heat would be Tiffany Stratton getting beat down and end the match with the hot tag to Trish.
Who gets the chick kick to pull off a victory in front of?
If they want to go like formulaic, and then also let's not ever count out the Charlotte Flair factor, who might just want to come in and mess around with Tiffany Stratton. You know, she might pop up. You might just get the music hit. She stands at the ramp.
Yeah. Just to come parade around the ring and just stare and just clap after she wins, because she's already beaten Trish Stratus. So she's like, yeah, you're next, chick. So is your belt. Yep. So I'm going with the faces. I'm going with Team Blondies.
Agreed. I'm rolling. We got the unsanctioned match. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens is really Deshane and Sully. I tweeted that out a couple weeks ago, but this is top boy. Top boy branded. We're gonna fight till one of us dies.
That's a good one.
I think they did a really good job last week of explaining what's different about this phase of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, because you had Kevin Owens cut that promo from his phone from outside of Sami Zayn's crib. And Sami Zayn gets on and says, man, we've had our ups and downs, and obviously y'all are all seen it, but nobody's ever involved anybody else's family, kids. I know his mom. I'm talking to his mom. I went to his house. I felt horrible about myself when I saw myself in the mirror, because I know his mom, and I went to his house to do the same thing, you know, get under his skin the way he got under mine. So I thought like they're doing a good job of differentiating what's different about this.
Hang out with my mother.
Yeah, about this and any other time we've seen these guys feud. Just in WWE alone, it's been 10 years. Like when did Kevin Owens come to NXT? Like 2015, 16, something like that?
2015.
Right. So that's 9 years. That's 10 years.
10 years.
Just in WWE alone, it's been 10 years. And that's not saying anything about their Ring of Honor, which was arguably the most physical and bloody feud or part of their feud. So that being said,
where do you even go? Who's the winner and how does?
Because I think that it's
before you give your winner, give your prediction and the route that both men go after this match.
I think Orton is next for Owens.
Me too. I'm not buying this online, he's gonna miss WrestleMania. All right, man.
Who, Orton is saying?
Yeah. The IWC or dirt sheets are saying that Orton is currently not in the WrestleMania plans, but I think that's just the new WWE, the new WWE approach is to just swerve the dirt
Work
sheets
the
and
dirt sheets. Yeah.
work the dirt sheets. So I'm not buying that. Just off top to our audience, I'm not buying that. Yeah, I think Orton is going to be a factor.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Owens. Man, if anybody's missing WrestleMania, I could see it being Sami Zayn, even though I still don't think that's going to be the case.
Tough,
No, it is tough, but I could see, like, think about how physical this match is supposed to be. At least it's being billed to be. It's unsanctioned. Anything can go. I can try to kill
better
you,
be
and
a
they can't.
bloodbath.
I
Sammy
agree.
don't blade a lot, and KO just had his own fair share at the Rumble. So I think
Yeah,
this match should be a
I think
all
they're gonna go. But because again, I see Owens and Orton. I can't. To me, there's not really the clearest of paths for Sami Zayn.
Yes, there
Like
is.
Drew.
Nah, you missing the whole name, man. So I know you're not tapped in.
Who's that?
You missing Sami Zayn's next direction, buddy.
Who's that?
Karrion Kross, WrestleMania moment.
1,000%.
That's the WrestleMania moment, man.
Your man Karrion Kross then backdoored himself into a mania moment.
He done
I
got rid
respect
of
it.
he done shred all the team, and now he's like, "Yo, I'm on
Yo, AOP
WrestleMania
out
for
the door.
yeah, baby."
AOP out the door. 2
Karrion
months.
Kross is like, "Yo, second year I'm about to get a WrestleMania feud in the match. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get a U.S. title shot next. I'm definitely moving up the ladder.
Yeah.
In a Continental title, here I come."
Nah, nah, you're spot on.
Yeah,
That's very funny too. AOP was just like AOP was 2 months away from a mania check, and nah, you out here.
Karrion like, I'm gonna do this alone, and I think that's gonna be fun because I think that's gonna bring out something in Karrion Kross that nobody's been looking for, particularly that he's been trying to get from social media because he's been doing some good work on social media.
Nah, like Karrion, even with the backstage segments where he just pops up and he's be talking, dope.
He's fleshed out the Sean O'Hare gimmick of, damn, why is it drawing a blank? If anyone remembers Sean O'Hare, I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. That gimmick.
Look, he's an example of almost like Ricochet, right? Where he was typecast. Speaking about Karrion Kross specifically, he was typecast in that it's the entrance and the darkness and all of this weird conversation that doesn't really go anywhere, almost Bray Wyatt style, promo
That
style, rather.
NXT run seemed like ages ago, yo. How about that?
But he was typecast.
Crazy how long ago that feels like.
Yeah, he was typecast, and then when he came up and he had the weird, S&M vibe going, it was like, all right, man, this ain't going anywhere. You ain't going anywhere. But then with this new regime, he's been given a chance. I don't know how much of this is scripted versus bullet pointed, who's actually in creative, how much he has input on the direction, but it's working.
You know what's crazy? Watching Raw and SmackDown, specifically Raw these last couple of weeks, has took me back to a place of 2017, 2018. Remember where you was at watching WWE at that time?
2017.
2018. That was the Drew McIntyre return, the Bobby Lashley, Leo Rush era. That's what Raw has been giving me lately. It's not blowing me away. Raw is what I'm getting to. It's just like this feels like formality. WWE Vince McMahon Raw is what I'm watching right now.
I ain't gonna lie, like I've enjoyed Raw.
Just spinning the wheels Raw is what I'm getting. Like that's what I mean. It took me back to that time of like, yo, they are just throwing out anything to just kill time on these shows. Like,
I don't know. Like I look at Raw,
Dirty Dogs vibes.
I feel that way about SmackDown.
Dolph Ziggler versus Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins versus The Miz 9 times every week, every month vibes.
I feel that way about SmackDown. With Raw, I think like that point of view might be because you're in this like 2-week, 3-week window right now between like Rumble and Elimination Chamber. Because it's still technically WrestleMania season, and we do have a lot of these matches already sewn up. But a lot of these matches aren't going to be sewn up until after Elimination Chamber and a couple more weeks of TV.
Yes.
So I think it's a situation like it's that, but from when Raw goes on versus when it goes off, I typically like I've been enjoying Raw more than I've enjoyed Raw in a very, very long time.
Raw is solid.
Like the
especially
Netflix
that fast forward and rewind option. Amazing.
I watch not only am I watching without fast forward and rewind, I'm watching without commercials on Netflix. So I'm watching all like the in betweens. You know, when
But
they cut to commercial, I'm watching what happens when they really ain't cut to commercial.
that's just the vibe that I get because I'm watching Raw at such a accessible pace that I am right now. That I'm like, it took me back this past week. It took me back to that like Dirty Dogs, Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins versus The Miz. You know what I mean? Rotating Intercontinental title pick. Like it just felt formalic. That's all. Like it's not a bad thing per se, but it just feels like this is just shrug your shoulders type of episodes. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing
I don't
really
know. I
crazy.
mean, look at the end. Like we got new tag champs.
But that was the part of Finn Balor versus Dolph Ziggler for Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz for the U.S. title, Intercontinental title, where they have a banger, and then The Miz wins after, you know what I'm saying, back and forth weeks of feuding with Dolph Ziggler. So like you knew you was gonna get a good match with a title change, but the rest of the show was just gonna be like spinning the wheels. So like I mess with that, but I don't know. It just took me back to that. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Not the worst, but it's just that time period we're in right now. You know, it's WrestleMania season. We still got some time to go.
So Owen Zane.
Owen Zane.
Wins.
Owen Zane. It is going to be Sami Zayn. I'm going Sami Zayn. No, I'm lying. I'm going Kevin Owens.
I'm going Owens.
Yeah, I'm going Owens. Owens needs to win bad. He has. I don't care remember the last time he won a match. And Sami, like we just said on AEW with Pockets, like Sami could take a loss and he'll be just fine because he's got a feud with Karrion Kross.
Nobody believes Karrion Kross is beating Sami Zayn.
Yes, that he will more than likely mollywop and have a WrestleMania victory over, and take his way to Royal Rumble 2026 in Saudi, and then have his WrestleMania moment next year. That's my Sami Zayn 2025-26. I think he wins the Rumble and has his WrestleMania title victory next year.
Yeah, I definitely have Owens. Definitely have Owens.
Owens it is.
Elimination Chamber matches. We got two of them.
Go with the women.
Let's go with the women. We got Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez. The winner goes against Rhea Ripley. I am going to go with Bianca.
I'm going Bianca. I'm not even going to mess around with it. Like,
yeah, I'm going
strictly Bianca. It's the best option, with or without the Jade return. This will only enhance Naomi turning or flipping. Like, this is fine with me. You know what I mean? Like, she's the clear cut winner. Like, everybody else, no thanks.
Like these other names, especially since Liv Morgan just won this tag title. That ain't happening. Alexa Bliss, that's not happening.
Not believable.
Nah.
Naomi, it's not believable.
Roxanne Perez, like I think this is the good look match for Roxanne Perez.
This was a good call. Roxanne is a favorite I'm seeing, but she's just got too much going on right now between all three brands that I'm just like, this is like, it's kind of overkill right now. She's already got Bayley on the main roster.
Yeah, to me, this is one of those where Roxanne Perez is going to put a fire performance together in Elimination Chamber and then bring that energy back to NXT.
Because she'll have a killer Elimination Chamber next year when she's on the main roster, where she'll probably be the champion or win. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to call back to everything she did this year, from the Rumble to next year's Rumble, this Elimination Chamber, the next Elimination Chamber. Like, she's going to be prime. She's going to have another Iron Woman performance. I agree with you there. But Bianca, man, it's got to be Bianca.
Yeah, it's Bianca. And then we got Bayley.
Bayley. I can't with another Bayley like title match.
No, it's not happening. It's not happening. Yeah, I'm going with Bianca.
It's not happening now. We're not doing another Bayley win. We can't.
So I think we definitely get Bianca versus Rhea Ripley.
It's time, man.
We'll figure out what that Jade situation is or isn't. I heard that she's definitely back in the fold, so we'll see what that looks like.
Before we go to the next match, what you think the dynamic is going to be though, Jade and
that's what my thing was
of Bianca and Rhea. I think that dynamic is kind of wacky. Like, I don't know how we go with that for a Mania match.
I think Jade is the catalyst. I think that Naomi and Bianca did it.
Okay.
So then we go with the heel Naomi versus the face Jade match at Mania, and then we go with the heel Bianca versus the face Rhea.
What does heel Bianca Belair in this current landscape look like? Not NXT Bianca. I mean, like,
I think like you get the same character, you just get the pedigree of being a former world champion. multiple time
You think she's gonna start
dominant,
She's gonna
skipping and
skip as a
swinging the
heel?
hair.
I
Yeah,
think
I
she's
think
gonna do
she's
she's like certain things gotta go if she's gonna be a heel.
that
Like I
music got to
can't
go too.
I'm with you on that. I can't buy into a heel turn and she's the same character, but now she's just like still
Yeah,
skipping, smiling.
I think a lot of that has to change. Um, but I think like to me, like she's Mr. Perfect, bro. It's the same deal. It's the same deal. We just have to
Okay,
dial up the arrogance and make a couple of tweaks here and there to the
that's a good
presentation.
flip.
But she is Mr. Perfect. I'm the EST.
That's a good flip right there,
Yeah,
Mr. Perfect. I didn't see that one coming.
yeah, she's So, but yeah, I think we get here. I think they did it. I think Jade comes back. She, involves herself, whether it be on tomorrow night or during the week. I think like this is the season that we do get Jade back and we do get the confirmation of who actually took her out.
You know what's crazy? I still feel like we might go Bianca and Naomi are on opposite sides of this. Like Bianca will be like,
Could
"Yo,
do that. It could be Naomi that wanted the slot.
yeah."
It could be that.
I kind of lean more towards that because I just feel like it's too soon to package up Bianca as a brand new heel right now. Like I know we still got a month, but
That's longer than that. Like that's enough time.
I'm not opposed
That's
to either or. I'm not opposed to the character refresh, but I also think I could see them going in a way where
yeah.
Bianca is like, "Yo, I'm riding with my girl."
Yeah. I see that. I can see
You
that.
know what I'm saying?
But
So
either way, we definitely have Bianca
that
taking
heel
that.
turn though, man, like got me thinking, damn,
It could be
man,
interesting, bro. Like
because that's gonna lead to tag matches all month of Rhea or variations of Rhea and Jade. Already a dope
I
combo.
wouldn't have any matches whatsoever. Like with Jade,
Two of them.
I wouldn't. I would have Jade come back, but you're not seeing a Jade match until Mania.
Fair.
Yeah. Like I think she chases for a month and a half.
You think that Rhea and Jade versus Naomi and Bianca ain't some money though? That's some money right
No,
there.
it definitely is. And
That's some
if
money.
they do that, that's going to be on, the Raw or SmackDown before Mania, like the
Before,
week
yeah,
of.
yeah,
They'll
yeah.
probably do that.
So, yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. All right. Next up, men's chamber.
Got the men's chamber, another 6 in the chamber.
Good doozy, man. This
Man,
is gonna be
some
tough.
heavy hitters. This is almost what they did with the Rumble, minus Roman Reigns, basically. John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and Seth Rollins. And of course, the winner goes on to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Do not forget that also on this card, we have Mr. Dwayne Johnson, chairman of the board,
Coming to
WWE
snatch a
bigwig,
soul.
taking the soul of Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes has to give The Rock his answer. And to be fair, this is definitely why we only have 4 matches, because that's going to be a very long segment. Talk about Undertaker
Yo,
entrances, The
Rock gonna
Rock's
be
entrance
so
and the
done.
segment
You're gonna be done off in Toronto, Terramana.
off that Terramana.
You're gonna be fried, bro. He's gonna be rambling. Goosebumps and Terramana. Goosebumps and Terramana is the vibes for tomorrow in Toronto.
Yo, Goosebumps and Terramana sound like a whole different channel, dog.
That's what they're
like
looking up. That's what somebody looking up in Nebraska right now when they say
yo, Goosebumps and Terramana sound like the scramble station. Holy crap. Yeah, man. So, all right, let's start. Since we're on The Rock and we're on Cody, because I think that goes on before the chamber.
definitely, yeah.
So, Cody says what to The Rock? Yes or no?
After an elongated pause and loud roars of Cody,
It's a no.
Cody, Cody. Yeah, we're getting a no.
It's a no. It's a no. So knowing that, we know that Cody turning down The Rock keeps Cody face, it keeps The Rock heel, but it does not check the box of what The Rock wants to do. This is Mr. McMahon 98. All right. So that means if The Rock ain't gonna wrestle, he has to find somebody else that is to go after Cody, and the guy that he picks is gonna be the eventual winner of the chamber. And again, looking at this list, Immediately, I think that eliminates Logan Paul, eliminates Damian Priest.
Now, before you go any further, who gets eliminated first? It's a star-studded match. Who gets the boot first?
Priest.
Tough. He's the most protected.
Yeah, but
I
he's
think he's
also
the
the
final
least
elimination.
believable.
I think he's the last guy, to be honest.
He's the least believable, man. Like, there ain't no drama if Damian Priest is 2.
That's how I think he ends up being the second to last guy. He's the guy who the winner pins.
Damian Priest being the guy that you beat to win the Elimination Chamber is no drama.
But you know what, though?
That's going to be the quieter portion of that match.
But you know what, though? I think it'll help the narrative of, Damian Priest is always being forced down everyone's throats, pause all the time.
I don't think there's any value in even making an argument for or against that. Who cares?
I just think he's been the most protected, like, pin-wise. Like, you don't lose.
Look, yeah,
like,
for sure.
I can see him be in the final, too. Like, sneaky, though. Like, sneaky getting taken out, and he's still like, Damian Priest with the South of Heaven out of nowhere.
That's fair, but I also, like, there's levels to this. Like, there's 6 people in this match, and as far as tiers go, I think Damian Priest is right there with Logan Paul as far as a pair. The next level up, if we're looking at the Mortal Kombat grid, but just doubles instead of, so you got Priest and Logan Paul. Next up is Seth Rollins and McIntyre, and at the top is Punk and Cena.
Last 2 is Punk and Cena. That will be the callback to everything they've done in 2011. Understood. I can see. There's so many variables I see, which is why I like this match.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables, and I can see like there being, let's say, because we saw what Seth Rollins, for example, did after at the Royal Rumble, right? He goes after Punk, he goes and takes out Roman Reigns. So we know Roman and Seth have beef. Punk and Seth been had beef, right? So there's issues in that world right there. We saw the demeanor of John Cena after the Royal Rumble at the press conference, most serious he's ever been. Right. So there's that. There ain't no clear path for Damian Priest to even make the last 3, let alone the final 2. That's gonna make that's gonna live up to the level of the drama. And Logan Paul is just there for like Logan Paul purposes. Like, all right.
Damian Priest won't be final 2 because Cena and Punk, that without having the fantasy book shit.
Cena, Punk, and Seth are the last 3.
Drew's out first. Yeah, Drew's out first. You need a shock moment in the chamber.
I can see
you need
that.
a moment to have everyone like.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's how Damian Priest stays in longer, because he's going to get killed by Drew, or at some point Drew is going to snap and just start attacking everyone to the point where you forget that this guy is laid out on the side through a pod.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I think Drew's first out, and then next we're going to go Seth.
I'm gonna go Seth. Oof.
I want Seth to win, to be honest. Just to mess up all the plans and to just cut all the dirt sheet stuff and to just like completely bury everything everyone's been talking for months. I would love to see Seth just win and just have a title match at WrestleMania for a change against Cody. I mean, and have him be the corporate guy again. If we're gonna go corporate, and we'll talk about this as we move on through the match, Seth is one of my corporate guys. Just to call back.
No, he 100% is a corporate guy. I just think like, because I feel
been
like,
there, done that with that feud.
I mean, that's interesting because Cody's in a completely different place.
Agreed.
So that's what will make it interesting.
That's why I like Seth winning for a change.
Last time they had a match 1-on-1, Cody had a torn pec, Hell in a Cell. Then the next time, like notable time storyline wise, was Seth helping Cody. So that makes that whole thing interesting and full circle and all that. I just don't see, because I think the winner of this match is the guy that The Rock puts his arm around. I don't see Seth Rollins being the guy that The Rock puts his arm around.
Fair. We could chop it up on that one. You know what I'm saying? We could split it up on that. Just because I'm biased to Seth, and I just like the way that story goes as we just laid it out. I do like Seth as the winner. Not the fan favorite winner, but just to throw everyone off and to not have him be CM Punk Roman Reigns vortex for now, we can still have, or we can even include it. There's 2 nights. There's 2 nights of WrestleMania.
I'm giving it a buck. I have zero idea what any sheet's been talking about. So just
from gauging what I saw, it just looks like not a lot of happiness on the internet from what the card is rumored to look like, because it just looks so up and down. Because The Rock is obviously throwing the monkey wrench in a lot of stuff, so people are just like,
I
this card
mean,
don't really.
yo, like even just recency, like The Rock threw the monkey wrench in last year, and look at how entertaining that turned out to be.
It's gonna be a solid
Like
card. Like,
whatever.
I
What
just
are we
think on
talking about?
paper it don't look the most exciting. I think that's just it. It doesn't look like, yo, this is gonna be. But when we see it live, when we see how it plays out, we're like, yo,
Man,
some good matches.
I think that's only a matter because there's a 4-year title reign that was coming to an end with Roman Reigns. Other than that, I think these matches and matchups look more. I have to look side by side, put it that way.
Sami
But
Zayn carrying Cross, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, just shooting at the hip, just matches that have
all
that
right, so Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, yeah, because there's heat there
that's
because
gonna
Kevin
bang.
Owens put him out with a
That's
pile
gonna
driver.
bang.
That's gonna go. Right? You have, let's say, look, I think it's Cody versus Cena.
I'm
I
just
think
gonna go off of just the recent leak of
I'm not
what
even
it
like
is.
not even league. I think it's Cody versus
Yeah, no.
Cena. You have Cena's last WrestleMania, and people are talking about the card. Doesn't matter who you put Cena against, damn near. Like it does, but it doesn't. And you already know he's going to be in a prominent position, right?
Yes.
You have Punk, who was injured last year, was he? He was because
Punk
he
missed.
was on commentary,
He was doing commentary. So
right?
yes, this
So
is
all
his
right,
day.
so now we get a CM Punk match. Like, that's what I'm talking about. People just be complaining to complain. Like
So
what CM Punk and John Cena were not on the card last year, and they're on the card this year, and it's the last time you're gonna see Cena.
you know what it is? I think it's just the the chaos of all this booking of the who, what, when, where. Like it's like, yo, we just don't have a direct like
You're right.
Austin Rock. Like
You're
there's not
right.
a direct feud that we can go to anymore. Now it's just
Sure.
like
However,
who, what, when.
early in this podcast, right? People be talking about, yo, you want wrestling to be as real as possible. And then you have same people that be like, oh, this makes sense. Early in this podcast, I'll give me the chaos. How often will I come on here and be like, yo, just give me the chaos? You can turn any news station on right now and see, for example, somebody just spazzed out and put somebody on the tracks of a train.
Very possible.
There's no storyline narrative, but the story is that's what happened.
Yes.
Cool. Chaos, man. Keeps it very, very fresh when what you didn't see coming happened.
And I think that's why I don't want a fantasy book, and why I got to cut myself in fantasy booking on the pod, on social media, because it's like,
Look,
yo, dog,
it's
just this match
fun.
alone, I don't want to like, I'm exhausted even thinking about the outcome.
To me, it's the fun if I don't take it to the next step of if what I predict doesn't happen, then I'm against it. I can finish. We can do all this all day, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see this happen and that happen and blah blah blah. If it turns out to be that The Rock ends up having nothing to do with the main event at WrestleMania, then
I'd
the
be like,
direction that they
awesome.
decide to
That's
go
fine.
in, huh?
I'd be like, that's fire.
Whatever.
Where's me?
Like whatever, bro. Like it is on the
Yeah.
night I'm watching, it's gonna be dope.
All right, back to the match. We got Seth out of there.
So Seth, I think Seth is last 3, but you got Seth out of
I
there.
feel you. I feel you. He could be. I just can't see Logan getting out early. That's all.
Yeah, that Logan Paul thing is
He's
Logan. Logan, I
Logan
can
could be
see
last
Logan
too.
Paul being one of the last 2.
Logan could be last too, yo.
He was last 2 last year.
Was he? I forgot he was in the match.
Was he? He was in the Rumble this year, right?
Yes.
He was pretty late in the Rumble.
Last 3 again.
He might not have even been in the Rumble. I was making in Elimination Chamber last year. I might be making.
I was about to say. I was like, was he?
I don't know. Hold on, let me see. I'll tell you right now.
He was a U.S. champion, if I'm not mistaken. So he could have been in the same exact spot, but as U.S. champion or defending the belt, one or the other. But he's tough because with him, I think this is where you branch off into him and Cena.
He was.
Everything's writing itself. Everything in this match is writing out everything that already gave the vibes forward to having a fantasy booking.
Logan Paul was in the last 3. He was eliminated by Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre won it. This was in Perth in Australia last year.
Yes.
Bobby Lashley, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Drew Mac.
Yep. That. That's what set up his
Last
WrestleMania
year's
match.
women's was Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, Raquel Rodriguez, Bianca, Liv, won by Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch at the crib right now, bro.
We ain't got no worry about that now. But if we go off of that formula for last year, run that card back. Did everybody pretty much spin off into a feud with each other? Minus Bobby Lashley.
Minus last year. So LA Knight,
Had a direct feud with Logan Paul after, which is Logan Paul and Cena.
right? Kevin Owens, Randy Orton. They were intertwined for a while before they directly feuded.
Which yeah, had nothing to do with this one, but that's Drew and anyone in this match basically.
Drew been beefing with everybody.
Yeah, so everyone's path pretty much led to, their WrestleMania. So I think this is Logan Paul Cena. So I'm just gonna go Punk. Now that we've spoken about it, I'm going Punk as the winner. I don't really want it to be Punk as the winner, but
Yo, Punk, man, Punk versus Cody. There's a lot there.
it's a lot. It's a lot of stake, man.
There's a lot there.
Of stake. But you know what though? I wouldn't mind Cena winning and being a corporate guy. But
that's what I think is going to.
But without turning heel though. He's not turning heel. He's just being a corporate guy because he has to get his last title shot at WrestleMania.
So when you say the corporate guy, what do you mean?
I'm shooting at the hip. So I'm gonna flesh this out. Pause. This is Cena teaming with The Rock just because he knows this is his last chance to get to WrestleMania. So he will be the corporate guy. And then this will almost be like a redemption thing. And he fails to win the belt, the crowd will continue to be on his side still. Like, I gotta flesh that out, but I just think there's one way or another where Cena could tie in with The Rock and not be booed, and not be a heel. Like, it'll be like a sad thing. Like, we're like, damn, John, it's that bad.
But I think I think it's exactly that, except for I think he is heel, because even if you go in a direction you just laid out where it's a sad thing, you're more disappointed that you feel like you had all these years, you've been the guy who's never going to change character, and now you change. You know what I mean? It's almost like looking at the New Day, like, man, y'all been our guys, and now all of a sudden, but the reasoning behind it is because he sees the walls closing in, time's running out.
That's why I think the redemption story is going to be bigger. Is everyone being like, is him being like, yo, man, I tried everything. Like, I even went to go work with The Rock, and that didn't work. And the crowd's like, oh, we still love you, John. So, like, I kind of could see that, but this Logan Paul thing has been weighing over me anytime I see John Cena's name in the internet. So I'm just like, Logan Cena. They did tease it at the Rumble. They'll tease it here.
Cena. Yeah, I can see Logan Cena. So then you got Punk and Cody.
And unfortunately, Punk could be the heel that we needed against Cody, man. He could be the corporate guy. Corporate man Punk. You know what I'm saying? Suit and tie Punk, Summer of Punk, 2005, heel Punk. Like, it's very random, but I just don't think the crowd buys it. That's why I don't like it. I don't think the crowd will buy it at all. Like, I won't buy it. Imagine him cheering, him and teaming with The Rock. I feel like they're going to cheer. They're going to cheer CM Punk if he teams with The Rock. I don't think they'll boo CM Punk. He's that much of a beloved guy. That's why,
he is, but I think if anybody can pull off a difficult heel turn, I think it's Punk. Plus, the older Punk gets, the more Punk is still Punk, but he's wearing suits. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I just saw a picture of him today with The Rock at a movie premiere or some kind of media appearance, suit next to The Rock, both of them smiling, kikiing it up. So I think Punk really, really is supremely talented and good enough that for the fans that want to play along with the storyline and the character, if he wants you to boo him, you're going to play along and boo him.
Yes.
And I also think he's smart enough to change certain things up about his character. Like, if there's
Cult of personality got to go.
1,000%.
That got to go.
1,000%. You know, so,
pandering to the crowd every week, that's got to go. It's just certain things
when they chant my name, like, all right, guy.
This.
I get it, man. You want them to chant here. Got
it's certain things that I just don't see them like rushing to feel like they have to tell. Like certain things I feel like should. It's like, and then where's Roman? We still didn't even talk about Roman in this, and we're gonna wrap up. But like, we didn't even get to the Roman Reigns factor in this whole match feud story.
Roman Seth. Got to get back for the Rumble.
That's the WrestleMania match.
And like again, oh, this is whack. This is whack. You about to get Roman Seth at Mania. Blood feud.
I'm not mad.
Like
but I'm not
blood
mad.
feud. This ain't even like about a title.
It feels like the Jim Jones album. Good album, not inspiring. Like I'm not like wowed and blown away by it. Good effort though. Like I feel it. I feel the level up, but I'm just not like.
I disagree because I think this is what pushes Seth a little further towards the heel side. And by the way, what's also interesting here, and I don't know if this comes up to play in what combination or whatever. Definitely not for Elimination Chamber. But when Rumble comes back, when Roman comes back, rather, let's say it turns out to be Cena and Cody. So Punk is free. Now you got Punk and Seth, and now Roman rolling around. Punk still has that Paul Heyman favor in his back pocket.
Fair.
Whatever that may be.
I saw, I'm probably going to butcher it, but I did catch somebody said Roman will block the favor, and this is how Roman and Rock will interact. Like, I saw some deep dives on the favor aspect because there's a lot of variables that we're forgetting about too. That favor, that's going to come back.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I'm here for the ride, man. Like I'm enjoying.
And Cena's losing streak too. Don't forget that. That's why he can't win.
That's but that's why I think the losing streak, if he does win the Elimination Chamber, it's gonna be because there's interference or the heel turn, because he has to be desperate enough to do something, because what he's been trying to do, play it straight, hasn't worked. So in order for him to win this and get his last chance at a Mania main event for the World Championship, I'm willing to go further than I've 10, 15 years, damn near 20 years was the last time he was a heel. That's why I see it very plausible that Cena links up with The Rock. You do this whole Hollywood vibe. You know, I'm with the guy that can fire you and just hand me the title. You know what I mean? He can Eric Bischoff and Triple H this right now.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just such a weird dynamic.
Dog, I love it.
It's good chaos. It's good chaos.
It's chaos. It's also like The Rock is unhinged and bugging out, but they both in Hollywood. I'd bring Batista back for a random SmackDown just to chop it up. We got 3 Hollywood boys just out here talking trash to the fans.
Just to tell Cody, like, yo, look out for these dirtbags.
Like, what up? We all from Hollywood and we all on steroids.
We're not asking you for a match, Batista. We just want to see you again. Just pop up one good time, man.
With the Ica Pro t-shirt, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Come through, hit the entrance, and you know what I mean? Talk to Cody and cut a promo and just involve yourself in that, man. I legitimately would love to see Batista just give a cameo. Not a match, but just like Batista's here.
Dog, I want to see Rock, Batista, and Cena just stand at the top of the ramp side by side while Cody's in the ring making his faces. My dad. Dusty.
Cody. The succubus.
My baby girl. My
succubus
daughter.
Of it all, man.
Liberty.
The minutia of it all.
Liberty.
The minutia of it all. Cody Rhodes.
That's the Elimination Chamber predictions preview. Gonna be a good show tomorrow. Definitely gonna be some talking points coming out of the event.
Yeah.
We will be back next Thursday, so not even a full 7 days. 6 days from today, we'll be back on with the good sir Ricky Rose, who will be live in the building. on the floor correspondent of the Ringside Club. Shouts
It's
to
gonna be
King to
good
the
to get
Ring.
his feedback.
Yeah, man. Like, what was the energy like there? What was the little section that you were in? What were they talking about? Overall vibes of Toronto. You know what I mean? That's gonna be dope. So that being said, enjoy Elimination Chamber. Collision is definitely tomorrow as well. And then
We will
next
not be
week,
live streaming, but we will be catching
yeah,
it out there with you
catching it.
guys. You know what I'm saying?
And then of course, next week, aside from our show,
Maybe we'll
talking
live
to
stream
Rick
for Grand Slam. Oh, say Grand Slam for Revolution that Sunday
for
night.
Revolution. Yeah, that's
Probably could do it for Sunday.
next Sunday, I believe. So
yeah, the 9th. But you know, I'm gonna catch the pay-per-view Saturday. Make sure I check that out.
Yeah.
Shout to the Peacock app, you know what I'm saying? PC.
I mean, but yeah, man, that's the Ringside Club, episode number, I believe, 116. We out of here. On behalf of Blame Bug, the good sir Chad Law. My name is A.O. We out of here. Peace.